I exposed my sister's affair at Christmas. Now she's pregnant and wants me to lie about the father. Hey, Reddit. This is going to be a bit of a mess, but I need to get this off my chest. My name's Cameron, 34 male, and I'm about to spill some family drama that I never imagined I'd be part of. And honestly, I don't even know how it got this bad, but here we are. It started with my younger sister, Lena, 28 female. Sweet, kind Lena, or at least that's what everyone sees. She's always been the golden child, the one who does everything right. She's got the whole perfect daughter thing down to a freaking science. My parents still treat her like she can do no wrong, even though she's nearly 30. Meanwhile, I'm the screw-up, the disappointment, the one who's never quite settled down. Whatever. I used to think that was just how it is in families. You know, every family has a dynamic of black sheep, and it's not like I ever try to be one. I just didn't want to follow their script. But the thing is, Lena is not as perfect as they think she is. Not even close. And I've had to sit back and watch her lie, manipulate, and get away with shit for years. Everyone in our family buys her whole innocent little angel act, but I'm not blind. I'm not stupid. I've seen what she really is. It all came to a head last Christmas. We're at my parents' place for dinner. Me, Lena, my mom and dad, and Lena's new fiancé, Jake, 32 male. Jake's, well, he's nice enough, I guess. A little too clean-cut, too nice guy for my taste, but whatever. Lena seemed happy with him. So good for her, right? Wrong. We're halfway through dinner when my mom casually mentions how they're so excited for the wedding, how proud they are of Lena for finding such a good man. I swear I could hear Lena's smug little smile from across the table, like she was just so pleased with herself. That's when I lost it. I told them. I told them everything. I told them about the guy Lena's been seeing on the side for the last year. Yeah, year. His name's Kyle, 33 male, by the way, and they're not exactly just friends. They've been sneaking around behind Jake's back this whole time, and I've known because I caught her in the act once. She doesn't even know I know, but I've seen her car parked outside Kyle's apartment more times than I can count. And it's not like she's been subtle. If Jake had half a brain, he'd have figured it out by now. But no, he's too busy being the perfect fiancé. My mom's face went pale. My dad started yelling at me, telling me I was a liar, that I was just jealous, that I was trying to ruin Lena's happiness because I'm bitter about my own life. Lena just sat there in silence, looking at me with wide eyes like she couldn't believe I'd say it out loud. Jake. Well, Jake looked like he didn't know what the hell to believe. I thought maybe, just maybe my parents would finally see Lena for who she really is. Maybe they'd finally see how she's been lying to them this whole time. But no, they freaking defended her. They told me I was out of line, that I was ruining Christmas and I should just leave. So I left. And now I'm here, posting this because I don't know what else to do. I'm tired of being the one who has to hold everything in while Lena gets away with her shit. I don't care if I'm the bad guy in their eyes anymore. I just want the truth out there. Thanks for reading if you made it this far. I'm sure I'm going to get some hate for airing this, but whatever. I'm done playing nice. Update 1. Okay, wow. I did not expect this kind of response. First of all, thanks for all the support. I didn't realize how much I needed to hear from people who get it. So here's what happened after I posted. I didn't talk to Lena or my parents for a solid week. I figured they were done with me, and honestly, I was fine with that. But then, out of nowhere, Lena texts me. She wants to meet up. I wasn't sure what to expect, but I went. We met at this little cafe we used to go to when we were kids, back when things weren't so screwed up. She sits down across from me, doesn't even look me in the eye at first. I'm bracing for her to go off on me, but she doesn't. Instead, she freaking cries. She tells me I was right. About everything. She admits she's been seeing Kyle behind Jake's back, but she tries to justify it, saying things like, it's complicated and Jake doesn't really understand me the way Kyle does. Like, what the hell does that even mean? I told her she was being a selfish idiot and she needed to come clean to Jake before someone else did. She kept saying she didn't want to hurt him, that she still loved him, but she didn't know what to do. Honestly, it was kind of pathetic. I couldn't believe she was trying to play the victim again. But here's the kicker. She begged me not to say anything more to anyone. She said if our parents found out the full truth, it would destroy them. Like, yeah, because them thinking I'm a piece of shit instead of you is so much better, right? I told her I wouldn't say anything else, for now, but I wasn't going to lie for her anymore. If Jake came to me and asked, I'd tell him the truth. She wasn't happy about that, but she agreed to handle things, whatever that means. Update 2. Well, Lena didn't handle shit. I got a call from Jake 2 days after that meeting, and you can guess what he wanted to talk about. Apparently, Lena went to him and told him about Kyle. But, get this, she didn't tell him the whole truth. She made it sound like it was this one-time mistake, like she just got confused and didn't know how to tell him. Classic Lena, spinning the narrative to make herself look like the victim. Jake wanted to know if that's what I knew. If it was really just this one-time thing, I couldn't lie. I told him what I knew. I told him it's been going on for over a year, that she's been seeing Kyle regularly, that it wasn't just a one-off mistake. Jake was devastated. I could hear it in his voice. I actually felt bad for the guy. I mean, I never liked him that much, but no one deserves to be screwed over like that. He thanked me for being honest, and then he hung up. I haven't heard from him since. Update 3. It's official. Jake broke off the engagement. Lena called me screaming after it happened, saying I ruined her life. Like, yeah, because I'm the one who cheated, right? She's freaking unbelievable. I guess she tried to get Jake to forgive her, but once he knew the full story, there was no going back. My parents are, well, they're pissed. At me, of course. Because why not? I should have kept my mouth shut, according to them. They still can't believe their perfect little girl would do something like this, so they're blaming me for blowing things out of proportion. I'm not even surprised anymore. This is just how it is with them. I don't know what's going to happen next, but honestly, I don't care. I'm done being the scapegoat in this family. Lena can deal with the consequences of her actions for once in her life. Thanks for sticking with me through this shit show, Reddit. I'll keep you posted if anything else happens, but for now, I'm just going to enjoy the silence. Update 4. Okay, Reddit. Buckle up, because things just went from bad to completely freaking insane. I thought that with Jake dumping Lena, the drama would cool down for a bit, you know? Maybe my parents would let it go. Maybe Lena would slink off and deal with her mess quietly, but nope. That would be too easy. Instead, my parents invited me over for a talk. Now, when my parents say they want to talk, what they really mean is they want to ambush me with guilt and lectures. But I figured, fine, let's get it over with. So, I showed up at their place, already bracing for the worst. I walk in, and it's not just my parents. Freaking Lena is there too, sitting on the couch, looking like she's just been told someone died. My mom has that tight-lipped look she gets when she's about to drop some bombshell news, and my dad's pacing the living room like he's waiting for someone to throw the first punch. And then it happens. My mom says, "We've decided that you need to apologize to Lena." I swear, I almost laughed out loud. Me? Apologize? For what? Exactly? For telling the truth? For calling Lena out on her bullshit? So I say, "You've got to be kidding me." And my dad, he steps in and says that I've created unnecessary drama in the family and that I should have kept things within the family. That airing Lena's dirty laundry like I did was cruel and unnecessary. Cruel? I'm standing there trying to wrap my head around the fact that they seriously think I'm the bad guy here. I told them Lena lied to everyone, cheated on her fiancé, and now I'm the one who's being dragged over the coals for it? Lena, of course, says nothing. She just sits there, all wide-eyed and tear-streaked like the fragile little victim she always pretends to be. I can feel the rage bubbling up in me. I've always been the one they blame. It's been like this since we were kids. Lena gets to mess up, and I get to clean it up, or take the blame, whatever suits them. But not this time. So, I tell them that I'm not apologizing for shit. That maybe if they'd actually held Lena accountable for once in her life, she wouldn't be such a freaking mess right now. That I'm tired of being the scapegoat for every damn thing that goes wrong in this family. I lay it all out. Every little injustice. Every time they turned a blind eye to her manipulations while throwing me under the bus. And yeah, maybe I went a little overboard, but screw it. I was done holding back. My dad just stares at me like I've grown a second head. And my mom? She bursts into tears. Tears. Like, oh great, now she's the victim too. Meanwhile, Lena just watches the whole thing unfold. Not saying a word. Not defending herself, not taking responsibility for anything. Just sitting there, letting everyone else fight her battles for her, like always. I walked out, didn't say goodbye, didn't look back. I'm done. They can deal with their golden child's shitstorm on their own. But here's the kicker. Later that night, I get a message from Kyle. Yeah, Lena's side guy. I didn't even know the guy had my number, but there it was. He says he wants to meet up to talk about Lena. Says there's some things I should know. I have no idea what the hell he's going to tell me, but something about it feels off. Like, why now? Why does he want to get involved all of a sudden? Is he trying to drag me into more of their mess? I don't know, Reddit. I'm debating whether to meet him or just block his number and move on with my life. But knowing Lena, there's probably a whole other level of crap I don't even know about yet. I'll keep you posted. Update 5. So, I met Kyle. And holy shit, I wasn't ready for what he told me. We meet up at this dive bar on the edge of town. Kyle's like shit. By the way, like real rough. He's jittery, looking around like he's expecting someone to jump him at any moment. Not exactly reassuring. But whatever, I'm there, so I figure I'll hear him out. First thing he says, "You don't know the half of it, man." Turns out, Lena didn't just cheat on Jake with Kyle. No, that would be too simple. Kyle tells me Lena's been seeing multiple guys, not just him. And I'm not talking one or two. There's at least 3 other guys in the mix, all of them thinking they're the only side piece. Kyle thought he was special or something. Yeah, delusional, I know, but he eventually found out about the others. And then he drops the bomb. Lena's been messing around with one of Jake's best friends. Yup, she's been sleeping with Ryan, 31 male, Jake's childhood friend, behind everyone's back. Kyle found out because he followed her one night after she blew him off for some family thing. He saw her go to Ryan's place, and well, I don't need to paint the picture. I couldn't believe it. I mean, I knew Lena was shady, but this was next level. And the worst part is, Jake has no idea. None. He thinks Lena's just this confused girl who made a mistake with Kyle, and now I know she's been screwing over literally everyone around her. I asked Kyle why he didn't say anything earlier, and he says he was scared. Scared of Lena. Scared of how she might ruin his life if he tried to blow the whistle. And honestly, I believe him. Lena's not stupid. She's manipulative as hell, and she's got a way of making people afraid to cross her. But here's the thing. Kyle isn't scared anymore. He's pissed. He wants to tell Jake everything, blow the whole thing wide open. I'm sitting there, trying to process this tornado of information, and Kyle's just ranting about how he's done being Lena's little secret and how Jake deserves to know the truth. I told him I wasn't getting involved in any more of this mess. I've already burned enough bridges. But Kyle? He's not backing down. He says he's going to confront Lena and tell Jake. And if I'm smart, I'll stay the hell out of the way. Honestly, I don't even know what to do at this point. I'm already the bad guy in my family's eyes, so I guess it doesn't matter either way. But if Kyle goes through with this, there's no coming back from it. I guess we'll see what happens. Update 6. Okay, I can't believe I'm saying this, but Kyle actually went through with it. He confronted Lena at Ryan's place, and apparently, all hell broke loose. Kyle didn't just tell Lena off, he freaking brought Jake with him. Yeah, he dragged Jake along, probably to make sure Lena couldn't squirm her way out of it. From what I've heard, because I wasn't there, thank God, Kyle laid out everything. The multiple guys, the affair with Ryan, the whole deal. Lena tried to deny it at first, but once Kyle started showing text messages, screenshots, and freaking pictures, she couldn't keep up the lie. Jake lost it. Completely. According to Ryan's neighbor, Jake was yelling so loud you could hear him from the street. Ryan, of course, tried to act like the whole thing was some misunderstanding, but Jake wasn't having it. He stormed out, and now nobody knows where the hell he is. Lena, meanwhile, has been texting me nonstop, alternating between crying and blaming me for starting all this. She's still playing the victim, of course, saying if I hadn't told the truth in the first place, none of this would have happened. But you know what? I don't feel bad. Not even a little. Jake deserves better, and Lena deserves, well, whatever she's got coming to her. My parents are furious with me. They've officially taken Lena's side again, saying I escalated the situation by not keeping quiet. But screw them. I'm done trying to please people who'll never see the truth. This whole thing is a dumpster fire, and I'm just glad I'm not in the middle of it anymore. Update 7. I wasn't planning on posting again, but Reddit, you're not going to believe this. Jake showed up at my place, like, out of the blue. I hadn't heard from him since Kyle blew the whole thing up, and suddenly he's on my doorstep, looking like he hasn't slept in days. He tells me he's done. Done with Lena, done with Ryan, done with all of it. He's moving out of town. Says he needs a fresh start, away from all the bullshit. Honestly, I get it. I told him I didn't blame him, and we actually talked for a while. The guy's a wreck, but I think he'll be okay eventually. Then he drops the last bomb on me. He's been in touch with a lawyer. He's planning to sue Lena for the wedding expenses. Apparently, he spent a ton of money on the wedding that never happened, and he's not about to just let that go. I didn't even know you could do that, but hey, good for him. As for Lena, I haven't heard from her in days. My parents are still mad, but I'm beyond caring at this point. It's been a hell of a ride, Reddit, but I think this might finally be the end of the drama. Unless, of course, Lena pulls something else. But that's a nightmare for another day. Update 8. Reddit, I wish I could say it's all over, that I could ride off into the sunset, but this is Lena we're talking about. Of course, she had one more card to play. One more piece of freaking chaos to drop into everyone's lap. So, a few days after Jake's surprise visit, I get a call from my mom. And for the first time in forever, she actually sounds, I don't know, shaken? She's not mad, not accusing me of anything, just straight up anxious. That immediately set off alarm bells because my mom never sounds like that. I'm thinking, what the hell now? But she doesn't say anything over the phone. She just tells me to come over. I'm not in the mood for another ambush, but I went, mostly out of curiosity. I get to their place and right away, I can tell something's up. My dad's in the kitchen, looking more stressed than I've ever seen him. And Lena? She's there too, sitting at the dining table, looking like she's just seen a ghost. She doesn't even acknowledge me when I walk in, which is unusual because she's always got something to say. My mom's hovering in the background, wringing her hands, which just amps up the tension even more. Finally, my dad clears his throat and says, "We need to talk about Lena." Great. More Lena drama. But what could possibly be left? Jake's gone. Kyle blew up her lies. Ryan's out of the picture. What else could she have screwed up? Then, Lena speaks, and the first thing she says is, "I'm pregnant." Yeah, pregnant. I felt like someone had just punched me in the stomach. My immediate thought was, oh God, this is so not Jake's kid. But of course, that's exactly what everyone's thinking because my dad goes right into full-on damage control mode, asking a million questions. How far along are you? Is it Jake's? Who's the father? Lena just sits there quietly crying, saying she doesn't know. She doesn't know who the father is because she's been with too many people. That's when I lost it. I laugh, actually laugh, because how freaking ridiculous is this? The perfect daughter doesn't even know who knocked her up. All those years of them defending her, blaming me for everything, treating me like I was the one screwing up. And now here we are, with Lena pregnant and clueless about the father. My mom tells me to stop laughing, that this is serious. But I couldn't help it. This is the mess they created by coddling her all her life, by never holding her accountable for anything. Now it's blowing up in their faces, and they don't know what to do. Lena eventually admits that it could be any of the guys. Jake, Kyle, Ryan, maybe even one of the other guys she's been messing around with. She's going to have to do a freaking paternity test to figure out who the father is. My dad is trying to hold it together, saying they'll figure it out, but I can tell he's barely keeping his cool. My mom, meanwhile, is in full-on meltdown mode, pacing the room and muttering about what people will think and how this will destroy the family. Because, of course, that's all she's worried about. How it looks to the outside world, not the actual train wreck Lena has created. Lena just sits there, looking miserable, and for the first time, I think she actually gets it. She's not going to be able to charm her way out of this one. No amount of crocodile tears or playing the victim is going to fix this. As for me, I'm done. I told my parents that I'm not going to be part of their damage control operation. I'm not going to lie for Lena, and I'm not going to pretend like this isn't exactly what was bound to happen. They can deal with the fallout however they want, but I'm out. I walked out of that house and didn't look back. Jake's gone, Kyle's gone, Ryan's out of the picture, and now Lena is left with this massive mess that she created. And honestly, good. Let her deal with the consequences for once. Maybe it'll finally knock some sense into her, but I doubt it. Final update, hopefully. Well, Reddit, it looks like this really is the end of the road. At least for me. Lena had the paternity test done. Turns out it's Kyle's kid. Not Ryan, not Jake, not any of the others. Just Kyle, the guy who thought he was the special one. The one who kicked off this whole mess by exposing her cheating. Talk about poetic justice. Huh? Kyle isn't thrilled, obviously, but he says he's going to step up and be involved, whatever that means. Knowing him, it'll probably be half-assed, but hey, it's not my problem. Jake, as far as I know, is still out of town, probably starting over somewhere far away from all this bullshit. As for Lena, she's back with my parents, trying to figure things out. I don't know what that even looks like for her anymore. She's burned so many bridges, and now she's stuck raising a kid with a guy she doesn't even love. But you know what? I don't feel sorry for her. She made her bed, and now she has to lie in it. My parents are still pissed at me, still blaming me for ruining everything, but I've made peace with that. I'm not their scapegoat anymore. I've washed my hands of this whole mess. Lena can deal with her own consequences for once in her life. Thanks to everyone who's been following this disaster of a story. It's been a wild ride, but I'm ready to move on. Maybe now, I can finally live my life without all this toxic family drama hanging over my head. But knowing my family, probably not. The Yendi for now.